welcome to the channel. Sandra and Mango here, and today we had a couple of different topics that we wanted to share with you guys, but we got a request. Someone was asking to do a video on everything that you need when bringing a baby Sun Conure home. So Mango and I thought that this would be a good opportunity to share with you our journey from the beginning and tell you everything that you need when bringing home a baby Sun Conure and some do's and don'ts. I will do a Sun Conure care video in the future that tells you everything you need from A to Z to take care of your Sun Conure once they're all grown up. But let's jump into the essentials when bringing home a baby Sun Conure. So you're bringing home a baby Sun Conure, or you just brought one home. Well, congratulations, because they make for amazing, colorful companions. But they are known to be really, really loud. Don't forget to check out my video on how to train your Sun Conure to be quiet. Sun Conures are also known for their big personalities. They're very friendly, sweet, and can be very cuddly, but I'll get to that more in a little bit because it has to do with how your bird is raised. Sun Conures, of course, are also known for their bright, beautiful yellow, orange, green colors, mostly red, orange, and yellow, but they do have green and blue as well. But Sun Conures are not always as bright as the sun. When you bring your baby Sun Conure home, you'll find that they look completely different from when they're adults. It takes about 18 months for a Sun Conure to reach their full adult plumage. Mango here is actually 18 months now, and he's still getting his yellow in. So he's almost there, but not yet. Now, we know that Sun Conures are really beautiful birds, but they're not all about beauty when they're babies. They are sensitive little beings that need care and attention to grow into healthy and happy birds. Now, there is going to be a little bit of a difference between a Sun Conure that is hand-raised and one that's raised by its own parents. Sun Conures that are hand-raised are a little bit more friendly, loving, and accepting of their human flock. So baby Sun Conures that are hand-raised are fed through a syringe, and they have a special baby bird feeding formula that has all the nutrients that they need. So this hand feeding formula is very important and crucial when they're baby birds. I would actually say that the safest time to get a Sun Conure is after they've been hand-raised and weaned off of formula. Birds that have been hand-raised tend to learn that humans are part of a flock, that it's not just birds. So these birds tend to be a little bit calmer around humans, and they also tend to grow up and be a lot more cuddly. As you might have been able to tell, that Mango is super cuddly with us. We did basically raise him, so we've had him since he was a baby. When he came to us, he was actually still on a hand feeding formula, so we did have to use a syringe and feed him his formula several times a day. We followed the instructions as we were told perfectly, so we just made sure that we timed out his formula. He was always fed at the same time every single day. And when it came to weaning, which is something that baby birds have to do, we let him decide when he was ready. So when weaning a baby bird off of formula, you always want to make sure that you're going at their pace. Now, I know you're like, Sandra, come on, let's get to the essentials list. This is why I'm here. But don't worry, we're almost there. I just wanted to get a little bit of the important stuff before and a little bit more after, so that you've got everything you need to have yourself covered. So when we were bringing Mango home, it was actually because we fell in love with a pineapple conure, and we thought we were going to get a pineapple conure, but we ended up with a Sun Conure, and we couldn't be more than happy. It was totally meant to be. And as soon as we saw him, we were like, he has the colors of a mango, and mango is our favorite fruit, and we would eat like kilos of mangoes a day sometimes. So we thought Mango, actually my husband named him. And then once we created a social media account, we realized that Mango and Sunny are the most popular names for Sun Conures, and almost every Sun Conure is named Mango. So Oh well, it's not the most unique name, but it rhymes with Lambo. Lambo and mango, Lambo and mango, Lambo and mango. Okay, so when we knew that Mango was going to be coming home in a few weeks, we thought we need to do all of our research and make sure that we do this right, because caring for a parrot is not like caring for a dog or a cat. It's a completely different world. And with birds, you have to impress them, whereas with dogs, they want to impress you. So the tables are a little bit flipped. So we actually, during our research, found Bird Tricks, and we reached out to them and we did a consultation. I'll leave the link in the description below, and a consultation with Jamie and Dave. So helpful for us and really set us on the right track with caring for Mango and making sure that we did everything right, making sure that he's healthy and he's on a really good diet. So from the get-go, Mango has been on the natural feeding system using the seasonal recipes. So after we weaned him off his baby formula, he started eating chop and he started eating cold pressed pellets. Now, I've talked a little bit about pellets in a previous video with our Birdie Travel Trail mix, but you can try Bird Tricks cold pressed pellets. There's also Tops cold pressed pellets, and we have recently switched over from Tops to Harrison's because they are just much more easily accessible for us to buy here. But I was also struggling for Mango to eat the Tops pellets, and he loves the Harrison's pellets. So that's gonna be something that you're gonna need to explore with a little bit. But yeah, that was one of the first things we did, was consult with Bird Tricks and figure out our diet once we were going to wean Mango off of the baby formula. Okay, let's get to the essentials list. So the first thing you're gonna need when you bring your Sun Conure home is a cage or an aviary, somewhere for them to have their home. I call Mango's his condo. So once the aviary came in, I just lined the bottom with paper towels so that he could like walk along the bottom, and sometimes he would sleep on his back. So I just wanted to make sure that he had like a cozy, soft bottom to be on. I also set up the aviary on the bottom. Everything was on the bottom. His perches, his toys, his water bowl, everything was on the bottom, just because at that point he couldn't fly yet. So I wanted to make sure that he was comfy and cozy. I avoided getting a cuddle hut or any of that kind of stuff because that can trigger hormones and all this other kind of stuff. So I would recommend avoiding cuddle huts, but getting a few different perches and a couple of little toys. You could try Planet Pleasures, and we have a discount code for you too, 15% off. Woohoo! So Sun Conures love roomy cages, and they will take full advantage of it. So just make sure that you get a nice size cage. Be really aware of the bar spacing as well. So this spacing should be about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch apart. So we've got a roomy cage. Next, I already mentioned a few of these things, but perches. You want to have a few different perches, and when they're babies and they can't fly yet, like I mentioned, just make sure that they're on the bottom so that they can hop up onto them. You'll notice that while your Sun Conure is a baby bird, during the day they sleep a lot more, and you'll catch them sleeping. It's so cute. So cute. But if you offer a variety of different perches, it's going to help exercise their feet, move around the cage more freely, and can even prevent arthritis. Provide a variety of these perches that are different lengths, sizes, and materials to keep your bird interested and engaged. You also want to provide a variety of toys, which I also mentioned, and just make sure that there's different toys around for them, and you can rotate them every week as well. Just to make sure that they're mentally and physically stimulated and have something fun to do. You can try foraging toys, puzzle toys, destruction toys, all kinds of toys. Just avoid toys that have like rope and plastic, glues, and things like that. You want to stick to the natural toys. So next you're going to need a water bowl and a food bowl, and the water should be changed daily. And if you see throughout the day that it's dirty or not so clean, then do change it, especially when they're young. You want to make sure that there is as much hygiene as possible. And you want to have a food bowl, and once they're finished weaning, or if you get them once they're finished weaning, then you can start to introduce all kinds of healthy and yummy foods in that food bowl. Make sure to avoid nut seed mixes because this is not very nutritious or healthy for your growing baby sun conure. So let's talk a little bit about weaning. When a bird is weaning or has been weaned, this means that they have learned how to feed themselves. So in the beginning, what you want to do is mimic foods that have the same temperature and texture as their formula. So this is a really great way to start. You could start off with like steamed veggies or a steamed sweet potato. Make sure that it's cooled to room temperature and then offering it to them. So soft, mushy foods. And then as they get more accustomed and used to that, you can also offer them cold pressed pellets. This is gonna be something that's really great because they're nutritious and they are able to break them apart, and they can start to learn how to use that beak and break things apart. Use that beak, break things apart. And once they're ready, you can get the Natural Feeding System cookbook from Bird Tricks and use their recipes to give them a fresh chop in the morning and cold pressed pellets in the evening. Make sure that when getting pellets, they're a really high quality pellet. And when your sun conure is a baby, don't worry about offering treats. That can come later once they're a little bit older, stronger, growing, and starting to train. Okay, so let's go over our essentials list. We need a roomy cage with appropriate bar spacing, paper towel, a variety of perches, a variety of toys, a food bowl, a water bowl, the Natural Feeding System cookbook, and cold pressed pellets. Here are some bonuses. You can also get a little birdie bowl or like a birdie bathtub for your bird for when they're ready to start having baths and showers. You can also get like a mist bottle to spray them during their showers and baths and to get them used to having regular showers. You can also get a birdie travel carrier. You can get it as a backpack or just a handheld carrier for any vet visits that you might have to do. And you can get a pet cam so that whenever you're out and about, you can keep an eye on them. I actually love using the pet cam because I can also talk to Lambo and Mango. I usually don't because it just confuses them, but I can keep an eye on them and I can also take pictures and videos of them, which is also awesome. And another really important essential is love. If you raise your baby sun conure with lots of love, cuddles and smooches and just being really affectionate, then they're going to grow up being that way. Now let's talk about a few more essential things to do with your baby sun conure. You want to make sure that where they are and where their cage is located is in a place that is temperature controlled. You never want it to be too cold or too hot. So try to make sure that the temperature is like room temperature. Our Mango has always been in room temperature that's like in the 20s. So that could be a good temperature. Next is hygiene. Just like with any babies, I always say my animals are my children's. So hygiene is important, especially when they're young. So I actually cleaned Mango's space every single day when he was a baby. And then as he got older and stronger and he was growing and changing colors, I started to do it weekly. So later on, weekly is fine, but in the beginning, you want to make sure that there's no droppings or, you know, just uncleanliness on a daily basis. Next, let's talk about sleep. Sun conures or parrots in general need 12 hours of uninterrupted, quiet, dark sleep time. So you want to make sure that you have your sun conure's cage or aviary or condo, whatever you want to call it, in a place in your home where it's going to be quiet and dark. If you cannot provide them with full darkness, then you will have to cover the cage. But if it's available to you, avoid covering the cage and just let them have, you know, that darkness and quiet time. But if you do cover the cage, make sure that there is plenty of airflow and that they have great source of oxygen. Sun conures can easily be kept up with loud noises and things like that. And if a bird is not getting a full night's sleep on a regular basis, it can negatively impact their health and also cause some behavioral issues that we don't want to see. So sleep is very important, especially for the little babies. So they will sleep all night. And as I mentioned, they'll nap throughout the day too, because that's what babies do. The placement of your sun conure's cage is also going to be super important. So you want to make sure that it is elevated off the ground, whether you use a bird stand or have it on a table or something like that. And that way it'll prevent it from being near vents or a draft, the air conditioner, the heater, and things that can be not so good for them. So make sure that the placement is good as well. Another recommendation that we have is to avoid getting your bird's wings clipped. So you want to make sure that they are able to do what comes to them naturally, which is fly. Now, because this is something that comes naturally to birds and it's one of their main sources of movement, it's also one of their main forms of exercise. So taking their freedom of flight is something that we should avoid doing. If a bird is growing up and not able to fly, it can negatively impact their health. Because of the inability to fly, their chest muscles might actually not develop. A bird that is clipped before they are able to learn how to fly may not develop the balance that they need, and they could also be psychologically crippled for the rest of their life. So we want to avoid doing that. Mango. Birds that are also clipped and have psychological issues because of it, they might actually feather pluck because they feel this irritation of needing to fly but not being able to. Sometimes when wings are being clipped, a blood feather could be cut, and that could be really serious and require a vet visit. So it's just not recommended. A bird that gets their feathers clipped might actually lose trust. So your companion might then not trust you anymore, and that can lead to things like biting and feeling really threatened or scared of you. So that's something we want to avoid, right? Oh, no, you have to fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. You're so cute. Love you. So now let's talk about the different stages of a baby sun conure. So when they're 0 to 6 months old, when they're first born, they don't have any feathers. And after a few weeks, some pin feathers start emerging. And the first plumage of a sun conure is olive green. So their head, neck, and back will be olive green. That is a good indicator that the sun conure is about 6 months. When a sun conure is 7 to 8 months, this is usually when they have their first molt and they'll start to shed feathers and grow new ones. And then from 8 months to a year, you'll start to see more orange and yellow growing on your sun conure. So they'll start to replace their feathers with more orange and yellow ones. And bonus, they love scritches. Let me show you some scritches. Bingo. Come on. Let's show everybody some scritches. Ooh. These are scratches. Oh, they feel so nice. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Mom, that's the spot. Oh, yes. And sometimes if you feel like the pin, you can actually like scratch them out and just give them like a little scritch to help them out and get rid of those ones in their neck or those harder to reach areas. Ow. That is my finger and that is my bone. Are you aware? And for a sun conure to reach their full adult plumage is anywhere from 18 months to 2 years old. At this point, you'll start to notice that they have bright yellow, orange, and red covering their head, neck, and the rest of their body. Can you? Okay, we'll do that. So that's it for today, guys. I hope that this video was helpful, and congratulations on your new baby son conures. Whether you're thinking about it, getting one, or just got one, they do make great companions, but they are a little bit of work. They are big personalities in little bodies. Can you show everybody wings? Show me wings. Whoa! Don't forget to like the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.